Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I, a 31-year-old male, overheard my fiance, a 29-year-old female, talking to her friends about how she sees me and I'm crushed. And guys, this is a really good story for your relationship guys. For you guys that are in your mid to late 20s, that are starting to move up in your career, starting to make some good money, it's really important you hear this to understand just how the gals will oftentimes settle for guys they wouldn't give the time of day to when they get to that point because they want to find a husband, and how they'll make the guys feel like they're on cloud nine with all the attention, but the way they really see them is something quite different than how they make the guy think. And you're going to see this story, guys, is just that. And what this guy does with this gal, how he handles things when he finds out what she really thinks about him. And let me tell you guys, it's not very good. And so, as I say all the time, like I said at the beginning, you have to be very, very careful, because you have to understand the gals will have all the fun in the world running around with the bad boys. They're in the teenage years, in their 20s, but eventually they all do want to settle down. Either it means just have a guy to be with, or mostly have a ring on their finger. They can't wait for the wedding, not marriage, wedding, so they can be the star and have it their magical day. And because all their girlfriends will get married, and they'll find some nice guy. And these guys that never really got the attention when they were younger, and finally they're doing well, making some money, and nothing about them has changed except for that they have more money and resources and earning potential. And all of a sudden these girls start paying attention to them, and they're thinking, yes, finally, after all these years, the girls are paying attention to me. The movies were right. The problem is, the girls aren't doing it for love because, well, they can't love. They're not capable of love like a guy loves. They want that husband. They want the easy meal ticket. And then they marry the guy, and a lot of times they're hooking up with Chad and Tyrone. They get the best of both worlds. Guys have to be careful. And it's also important, guys, that you pay attention to who the girl's friends are, what they're like. And it's not a bad idea, honestly, that on occasion you could pretend maybe you're asleep or someplace else. You can hear what your girl has to say to her friends about you. Very key. Anyhow, starts off, he says here, we met in college and remained just casual acquaintances at the time. Well, there's a clue right there in the first sentence. If she really liked you, why wasn't she dating you back in college? We both took a couple of the same classes and hung out a few times. Stayed in contact, but never too terribly close, because she wasn't into you. We both graduated, and a few years later we reconnected after randomly running into each other after we unknowingly both moved to the same city. It was around that time that my career really took off. Let's remember this part, gentlemen. A few senior engineers from my company recruited me for a startup they've been working on. We got a few big clients and some venture capital funding pretty early on, so within a few years, the money really started to roll in. And you're going to see gals paying attention to him really started to roll in. She and I started dating, and honestly, up until now, I've been nothing but happy. Interesting they start dating when all of a sudden the money's rolling in. He probably has a piece of the company, so he has equity and all that, making good money or really good money. She sees her meal ticket, her ticket to a nice life. She wasn't dating him when she was younger. We all heard it. Things were going great, and I felt like I was really close to her. I've been nothing but doting and appreciative of her. Smack. Of course you were. That's what nice guys do. I got no problem treating your lady well if it's reciprocated. But we know darn well that she wasn't interested when he was younger. But now, coincidentally, he's making money. Here we go. You don't dote on girls, because who does that? Nice guys. And what happens to the guys that dote on their girls? They're the ones that put them on the pedestal, amongst many of the things I say don't do. And, well, watch what happens. This all began to shift last week when I overheard her talking to her friends about how she views me. I'd planned to work later than usual, but came home early with a stomach ache and went to lie on the bed. I must have fallen asleep for about 2 hours, but when I woke up, I could hear her in the living room with some of her friends while they were drinking. Well, the truth always comes out when alcohol is involved. The conversation was pretty casual until they started talking about the wedding and our relationship in general. Now listen to this awful shit that she says about him. Through the laughter, she went on to describe how she had landed herself the perfect rich simp. His fiancé, the the gal he dotes on, and feels so happy, called him to her girlfriends the perfect rich simp. It's terrible. How she basically controlled me, and how I could give her the life she always wanted. I was just a tool for her to use. Her friends thought it was hysterical and egged her on. There you go. I'm sure her friends are just like her. They're probably carousel riders, probably still are carousel riders, and are roping in their nice guy to give a nice life. And I always say that it's amazing how people, but especially the gals, can be great actresses. It's like sometimes it's like, and the Golden Globe goes to this girl, or the Oscar goes to this girl for the performance of conning a guy to making him think that they loved him. It's terrible. But this backs up what I talk about. I know she was drinking, and I know maybe she was joking. Dude, she was not joking. But for me, the trust is gone. I don't feel like I can still marry her when I've heard her own words as she sees me this way. Dude, you should have walked right out there and say, all of you, get the fuck out of here right now. When she later went to the bedroom, she seemed surprised to see me. But she also assumed I'd be asleep. I haven't confronted her yet, and I'm just dreading canceling the wedding, which is scheduled for next April. That sucks. This poor guy. But you know what? One of two things can happen. Either he doesn't learn anything, I'll be back in the same situation in 2 years, or he learns something about reality. But a lot of these guys have no clue. So you're going to see momentarily how he handles the situation, and well, let's just say she doesn't like it too much. But a few comments here to show you I'm not alone in this, because this is the end of part one. This is a multi-part story. One guy says, do not be the tool she thinks you are. Get your ducks in a row, housing and logistics-wise, money too, and get the F out. So what if the wedding is canceled? Happens all the time. By March, you'll be much happier. Another guy says, oh man, very sorry, buddy, but you have to break it up ASAP. Prolonging it will not help anything. Even if it was a joke and embellishing it for the sake of her idiot friends, one can never trust again after such a shitty thing. Joke my butt. She meant 100% what she was saying. And let's just say she was joking. She's not, but let's just say she was. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Honestly, it's a good thing that you found out now before she got pregnant or something else. Yikes. Yeah. I feel bad for this guy, but let's look at the silver lining here. He found this out before they became legally bound. Another guy says here, you can never trust this woman again. There are two elements to being a good partner. How you treat your partner when you're with them, and how you treat them when you're not with them. And he goes on to this whole thing, but I'm not going to read it. I'm going to get back to the story. Now for the update. The guy says here, sorry, it took me a couple weeks to post an update, but it's been really hectic. I confronted her a couple days ago after my initial post. I wanted to see if she would be honest. Good luck there. If there was even a chance of working this out. Smack. No, there's no chance of working this out. I get your emotions are all over the place and you're hurt, but no. I get he wants to think that maybe I didn't hear her right. No. If there was even a chance of working this out. So I initially didn't allow her to know I personally overheard her. I told her I heard a rumor that she'd been talking about me that way. She pressed me for a name, but after I refused to give her that, she flat out told me repeatedly that I had been lied to. And the Oscar goes to that she would never talk about me that way. I then told her I personally overheard her, and then her entire demeanor changed. I think she hadn't considered that I'd been awake when she told her friends and had her friends over it, and this was such a common topic of conversation that she didn't know exactly which specific conversation I heard rumors about. In other words, they talk about him all the time and not in a very pleasant way. I told her I was calling off the wedding, and then she started crying. Of course she did. It's always the last line of defense, Niagara Falls. And I generally felt bad, but at the same time, I can't really trust her anymore. There's no trust, there's no relationship. She left, and I have no idea where she went. But I got a few calls from her friends later that night and the next morning. I would tell her friends to go F themselves. They were the same friends I heard earlier, so I just never answered. Her dad randomly showed up that afternoon and seemed surprised at what I said. She hadn't given him a detailed reason for why I was calling off the wedding, just that she had lost my trust. Of course she didn't give her father the full story. He didn't have much to say after I told him, but I should try to work things out. In other words, please marry my daughter to keep my little BIT away from me. She came back the next day, and I still have no idea where she came back the next day, and I still have no idea where she went, nor do I really care. I was blunt and told her she would need to find a new place somewhat soon. Since then, I've been spending as little time as possible home, and seems to be gradually removing, and she seems to be gradually removing some of her smaller personal items. It's a mess, and she keeps trying to salvage things with me, and when that fails, the crying starts. I'm glad I found out sooner rather than later. So that is it for his story, guys. And I know it's quick, but I thought it'd be a perfect example, and I cannot stress this enough. Be careful. For those of you who do relationships, I know a lot of guys watch me. You've been in enough relationships, you're done. It's you and your dog, or you and your cats, and your purpose, and your bros, and things you enjoy, fishing, camping, hunting, sports, whatever. You're not doing relationships. But a lot of guys who watch me do relationships. Be careful. Take years. And think about this. This is common sense. He met her in the beginning. They were acquaintances. Believe me, if she liked him, she would have been dating him back then. She wasn't. Drifted apart. Years later, in the same city, ran into each other. Hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Then he gets that job. Making a lot of money. And probably maybe he put a few posts on Facebook, or rumor got out because girls are going to talk about some guys making a lot of money. And all of a sudden, they're dating after all that. Imagine that. You got to be careful, guys. They have no interest in you when you're younger because you haven't developed into the man you're meant to be. Guy gets to his 30s, and as I said before, a guy's prime is his 30s. That's when the guy's prime begins. That's when the girl's prime stops. So why these guys all settle when they're in their 20s when their prime is just beginning in their 30s? Because if you're a guy in your 30s, or 40s even, and you make good money, you take care of yourself, because let's be honest, if you're just thin, not muscular, not fit, just thin, you're already ahead of about 80% of the population at this point. Right? But you do well for yourself. You can hold up a conversation. You're thin, or you're even fit. By the time you get your 30s and 40s, they're going to be beating down your door because they're dying to get a man. And you have your choice. And take all the time you want. Let them fight over you and compete for you. But you got to be careful, obviously. Wear protection. Dispose your protection. Don't ever trust I'm on the pill crap. But these guys are just quick to settle like that because they figure, shit, I got to get finally a girl's paying attention to me, so I got to put that ring on her quick and make her mine when she's never yours. So be careful. They are so many. We'll just wait for that nice guy when they're done Chad and Tyrone, the bad boys, and then the poor nice guy gets this. At least this guy overheard them. Because imagine if he didn't. He would have married her and thought he'd be on cloud nine. The next thing you know, she's asking for an open marriage, and knowing darn well he'd never have the balls to kick her to the curb. But this is great. This guy's proving he's not so nice or as a simp as she thinks he is. And actually, to be honest, she probably will find him suddenly more attractive than he's actually kicking her to the curb. So I wish this guy well. Now, if you comment here to wrap this up, because you know darn well this guy's going to start having second thoughts. That happens. One guy says, congratulations on the bullet dodge. I cannot imagine how miserable life would be with her who you would have found out about this. Another guy says here, I cannot upvote this comment enough. It was more than just a bullet dodge. OP dodged a freaking cannonball. His life would have been miserable. OP, do not fall for crocodile tears. Yes. Only thing she's upset about is losing her meal ticket because she couldn't keep her mouth shut. Well, obviously, I guarantee this girl's cheating on him, so her mouth has been wide open many a times with Chad and Tyrone sausage. Another guy says, bro, all you need to do is give her a hard deadline to get herself and all her stuff out. She's dragging her feet on moving on because she figures if she delays long enough and cries enough tears, you will give her another chance. Well, not our man here. And last one, this guy says, good for you for calling off the wedding and not let her get away with talking about you like that. I couldn't imagine talking about my fiance disrespectfully to my friends like that, even when drunk. What a nightmare of a woman. I hope this was a lesson for her. And that last comment was written by a woman. So guys, I don't need to repeat myself for the 19th time. You know the point of the story. So definitely a good, important lesson to learn for you relationship guys. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And also, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you're brand new here, definitely hit the subscribe button. And if you watch this channel regularly, definitely subscribe to my other channels, SSM Clips and They Did What. Really trying to grow the channels in the community this year big time. And the more you guys subscribe, it helps me. YouTube sees the channels are growing. They promote the videos. I get more dudes joining, and off we go. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.